Hey everybody, welcome back to the Highland Fox. Today we're going to talk about the Japanese Grand Prix.
So that happened.
And thanks for coming. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. That's about it. We have Max won a race.
Not surprising, even though Red Bull is kind of a not great car.
Yeah,
but
so the whole Red Bull, V-Carb, Junior Red Bull team, Yuki switched over, replaced Liam Lawson. So Lawson's back at the junior team. They gave him 3 races to get the notoriously difficult car.
2. This was the third. This is only the third race of the season.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they only gave Liam Lawson 2 races, and then they put Yuki in.
So I know a lot of people think Yuki deserved the seat
He
anyway.
did, in the summer, yeah.
But I think Red Bull just has very high expectations of their car, and I don't think it's the car. I think Max is just so dominant of a racer.
I'm starting to think that too.
I think you could put him in like a Haas or a Stake, and he'd probably
a Ferrari at this point. They're not. They're not. Williams is the same number of points. You know.
So I think like Max. I don't think we're gonna rule him out of another world championship.
He's only 1 point behind Lando.
Yeah.
Which is insane in that car.
So I think he's still in contention for running. Yuki didn't do that hot this time.
Weird. Both V-Carbs finished above the Red Bull. Again, maybe it's not the second driver.
So we'll see how Red Bull and Red Bull baby team deals with
I still can't believe
that.
that's
At this point, like I'm expecting Isaac Hajar to be in the Red Bull B seat, like I don't know, in like 3 more races.
Yeah.
So speaking of Hajar.
Yeah, he got his first points as a rookie, which is super exciting, especially, again, considering V-Carb should be the junior team, and to beat Lawson and Yuki, that's pretty impressive.
I know he had a really good weekend.
Yeah.
I know he had some problems with his car from qualifying, but he seemed pretty solid. So good for him.
He's perfectly set up to be kicked out of Red Bull here soon.
So, but kind of leading into the whole what happened in Japan, do you think this is going to be what we see the rest of the year?
We were talking about this off screen, and we were talking about like this season has been not a lot of passing, and we were trying to figure out why. And it's the cars are too big, all this, they're too heavy, all the complaints that everyone's had about Formula One for decades now, except for like the 90s. And I kind of do. I know even Vasseur kind of mentioned that this might be a qualifying championship, because if you look at the tracks we have ahead of us, not many can you actually pass at. It's like Austin, which is always a great race. Brazil is always a great race. And it's like...
Yeah, I know last video we mentioned we were excited about Japan, and
yeah,
I didn't know what I was watching. I was like, this is not what I was expecting. It was a parade.
It wasn't even a 4th practice session like I see a lot of people saying, because at least stuff happens there. Like the grass caught on fire and stuff. Like
that was probably the most exciting.
People crash in practice sessions.
Yeah, the grass catching on fire, and then Albon's sassy radio chats with his engineer. Like I feel like that was the most excitement we had.
Everyone's going to talk about the pit exit from Norris and Verstappen because it was kind of testy. But like even Verstappen and Norris were making jokes about it, like how Norris he's like, well, the grass looked a little long and I wanted to lawn mow it.
Yeah.
So it was like they don't even...
Yeah, I feel like we're just adding stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a very dull year if things don't happen. And other than like rain being added, and then
Australia would have been boring too then, yeah.
Yeah. So...
Hopefully not, though, right? Because we thought the same thing when Max won the first couple races last year, and then McLaren and Ferrari made it a fight. So maybe my concern is watching Formula One as long as I have is usually the last season. Everyone kind of gives up and starts spending money or last season in a regulation, they give up and then start spending money to, the next regulation. 2021 was a little bit different because Max and Lewis were so close that they were forced to.
Yeah.
But if you looked at everybody else, Ferrari was way back. Everybody else was way back in 21.
Yeah, so I can't... I know Hamilton's now with Ferrari, but I don't really see them putting a lot of effort into this season. If they're going to be upper mid, maybe just focus on the 26 car. I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully we're wrong, right?
Yeah.
None of us are paid to do this, so take our opinion with a grain of salt. Hopefully we're wrong. We have a great season. It's not just Lando running away with the championship or Max running away with the championship in a tractor of a car.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. Next week's Bahrain. That was where testing was. So hopefully the teams are a little bit more prepared for that race, and we get some good racing.
Yeah. Alonso finished a race.
Oh my gosh, Alonso Finland raced. That is news we have to say.
Anything else exciting? You guys, what is happening?
We'll see you next week in Bahrain.